Good morning, everybody. This is Mary Beth from My Fearless Kitchen. I have been out of town in Boston all week long. I've been at a conference doing some work, making some connections, hanging out with some very dear friends. Got back at midnight last night. It is 9 o'clock in the morning. I have not had a sip of coffee yet, so we'll see how this goes. I have my 5 top kitchen gadgets that I want to share with you guys today. These are things that I absolutely cannot live without. If you spend any time in the kitchen, you're going to love them. So let's get right to it. The very first one is this. This is from Pampered Chef, but you can get them from a couple different companies. It's called a Measure All cup. The great thing about this is you can turn it this way, and it's got liquid measurements, so you can do your liquids here, or you can turn it upside down. It's got dry, solid measurements, and you just pull this part out and fill up the cup at the top. Alexa, stop the timer. We're gonna pause for just a second. I had to hard boil some eggs this morning because one of the things we're talking about is an egg slicer. And you can't slice eggs if you don't have any hard boiled. So I was running low on time, had to take my son to school this morning. So I very quickly hard boiled some eggs. So let's hope that they came out good and that they're gonna peel right for us in a few minutes here. We'll leave those till later. Okay, so back to the measuring cup, shall we? This is, it's fine for liquids. This is a great, like, if you just need to measure water or chicken broth or something that's not terribly messy. You can measure anything solid on this side. I really like it for those things that aren't quite a liquid but aren't quite a solid. Things like ketchup or barbecue sauce or molasses or anything else that you don't quite know how to measure. It's not really a liquid, so you don't want to do it in a liquid cup, but it's really hard to get out of a solid cup when it's all said and done. But watch how easy this is. So we're gonna measure, so you just slide it up to where you want it. So we'll measure out a 1/4 cup of ketchup. Mine is a little old, so it's a little loose, so sometimes it kind of slides down. So we just squeeze the ketchup out on there. And you just fill it up to the top so it's pretty well level. Watch how easy this is to get all of that ketchup out. It scrapes off the sides. You have a little left on the top there, but just grab a spoon or a spatula or whatever and scrape it all off and you're done. How easy is that, right? I love that I can use that for these like kind of sticky, not quite liquid things that are just a pain in the butt to measure. This Measure All cup is perfect for those, so I love this. I use it all the time. The next thing that I really love is a garlic press. We cook with a lot of garlic. I prefer fresh garlic cloves over the jarred stuff. I do use the jarred stuff. I don't have a problem with it. When I have the time and the forethought to have fresh garlic on hand, I really like the fresh garlic. But I hate peeling it and chopping it and mincing it and all of that crazy stuff. It's smelly, it's messy, it takes forever. Your fingers get all sticky, you smell like garlic for 2 days. Nobody wants to kiss you, nobody wants to hold your hand. You don't want that around the holidays, right? We're getting into like fun family holiday season. Well, maybe you do want people to stay away. I don't know. If you do, don't get a garlic press. If you want family to come close and snuggle and love on you and still cook with lots of fresh garlic, get a garlic press. So this one, again, this one is for Pampered Chef. I'm kind of a Pampered Chef junkie, but there's lots of other options that you can get. Let me show you why I like this one. So the garlic just goes right in the little hole there. You flip the top down and just squeeze. Whoa, that's a juicy garlic clove. And it all comes out those little holes. This one didn't do quite as well. I've got more. And then this little attachment comes with the garlic press. So it's got this flat edge that you can use to scrape the extra garlic off. And then when you open, oh, can you smell it? It smells so good.
I know.
So when you open it, the skin of the garlic is all stuck down in there. So usually you have to dig in there with your fingers, and then you still get messy and sticky. So what was the point of using the garlic press? But with this one, this little attachment thing, it's got all those little pegs on it. Those pegs fit right in the holes. So you just pop all that stuff out, and then you use your little scraper side and pop the peels out.
Oh my goodness.
Throw them right away. So you never, I mean, you get a little on your fingers from handling this, but that's it. And that one really didn't go very well. So here's another small-ish clove I'm gonna do. And I pulled these off the head. I took off whatever loose paper, the garlic skin that was on there, but I really didn't peel it. You can see there's a lot of stuff on there still. And that's one of the great things about the garlic press is you really don't have to. So here we'll do another one. This is like the juiciest garlic I've seen in a long time. All right, so I've got all that good and squeezed out. Scrape that off.
That is awesome.
Isn't that cool? And this time it came stuck onto the plunger part, so that's easy. But usually it stays stuck down inside. Look how big this clove is, guys. Do you see this huge garlic clove? It's like the size of a quarter. It's fat. It's beautiful. This is like a double. If you pulled this out, I would use this in place of 2 garlic cloves. But watch, so it still pretty well fits in there. You can see it's got a lot of that extra skin on there, but watch what an amazing job these things do. All of that garlic comes right out.
So satisfying to watch.
I know, right? I ought to start just making videos of this. I could be like that Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
I'll be Dr. Mary Beth, garlic presser. All right, so there. See, it all just came out. And you can see how big and fat that was, how much garlic was in there. And now it's all been pressed out from the skin. So the one thing I will say about this, I have made the mistake of closing it up and popping it in my sink and leaving it for later. It gets really sticky. So do yourself a favor, and when you're done with it, just give it a quick rinse under water, and then it'll be a whole lot easier to clean. I've made a big garlic mess, but you know what? It smells fantastic in here, so that's okay. All right, we'll do laundry today. More laundry. Yeah. All right, so we've done 2, right? We got the Measure-All cup, and we've got the garlic press. The next thing I want to show you guys is a serrated vegetable peeler. Can anybody guess what brand this is going to be? This Pampered Chef. Pampered Chef. Oh my goodness. Hi Donna, are you watching? I love Pampered Chef. I love this serrated peeler. I don't know what it is about the difference between a serrated peeler and a plain peeler. Can you see? It's right like a serrated knife. It's got just the little grooves in there. Can you hear? Hear my fingernails scratching over those grooves? Something about the serrated peeler just makes it so much easier to peel anything. So here's an apple straight out of my refrigerator and washed this morning. It peels so easy. I love it. I used to use a paring knife for apples all the time, but with the serrated peeler, I just use this. I don't know, can you tell? The light's not very good to tell, but it leaves those little grooves in the apple too, which is not a big deal. You can see it better when you're peeling something harder like a carrot, and I just think it looks kind of fun when you have those little tiny grooves on the outside. But watch, this is a ripe tomato out of my garden, right? Can you see how soft and ripe this tomato is? How much my thumb is pushing into that tomato? Look at the dent I left. Are you ready? I feel like I'm doing like one of those cheesy knife commercials on television. Look how beautiful that peels this soft, squishy tomato. Again, not that you would ever peel a tomato like this, but seriously, cool. How cool is that? That it just peels that easy. It doesn't damage the fruit. It's all still there and beautiful and ripe and squishy. So if you saw my video a couple weeks ago about how to blanch tomatoes, if you don't feel like steaming up your kitchen, just get a serrated peeler and go to town on your tomatoes. But that's going to take you forever, and I wouldn't recommend it. Blanching is definitely the easier way to go. Okay, so we've hit 3 things. We got the Measure-All cup, we got the garlic press, and we got the vegetable peeler. Mix and chop. If you cook with ground beef ever, or ground pork, or ground turkey, or whatever, you need a mix and chop. Brand, surprise, Pampered Chef, one more time. But everybody makes these now. You can get them anywhere. So there's some on Amazon, and my friend Chris from Recipes That Crock at one point did a review of a couple different kinds. I will see if I can find that and link that up for you guys, because if nothing else, the comedic value of that one is worth watching.
It's definitely a game changer. Like, that's the first thing
Yes.
I've ever used that didn't, like, throw the meat up on me.
Right? Okay, so I've got a pound of ground beef. I defrosted this in the microwave, which is not my preferred way of doing it, but that's what happens when you get home at midnight and go straight to bed and then have a video at 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so this is raw ground beef that's been thawed in the microwave. Hopefully it's thawed in the middle, but we'll see what the mix and chop can do. Okay, Alexa, set a timer for 30 seconds.
30 seconds, starting now.
All right, here we go. I also usually do this over the heat and in a little deeper pan. Oh yeah, it's frozen right there in the center. But look at this, how fast and easy that chops it up. Here's a frozen section. Here we go.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to do that with a spatula.
No, absolutely not. And if you give it a little twist as you go, it gets it chopped even better. Alexa, stop the timer. Next time we need to do this like a race with one of these and somebody else with a spatula and see how it goes. But look how quick, in just 30 seconds, this is a big frozen chunk right here, but I can still get through that pretty easily with this mix and chop, right? The only thing that I'm not crazy about with this is that, especially when you're dealing with the raw meat at the beginning, it gets kind of stuck in those grooves. So I just keep a butter knife with me when I'm using this, scrape that out, kind of scrape the edges off, and just toss that right back in the pan. And then as it cooks more, it sticks to this less. If you're one that likes to add a little bit of olive oil or a little bit of canola oil when you're cooking meat like this, then you will have less of a sticking problem. But that's my only complaint, is that it sticks a little at the beginning, but that's an easy fix. The more well done it's cooked, the finer it chops, and the less it sticks to this. So I use it all the time, and you can do as big or as little chunks as you want. If you want a really thick, chunky tomato sauce, then leave it like this and you'll have big crumbles. If you like it really finely separated for like taco meat, then as it cooks, just keep going to town with your mix and chop and it'll keep crumbling. So love, love, love my mix and chop. We'll never trade this for the world. Okay, last thing. We'll get the raw ground beef out of the picture over there. Okay, last thing. I've got some hard-boiled eggs here. I have an egg slicer. If you do egg salad ever, you need one of these. All right, that's cold. Dumped my hand in a cup full of ice water and didn't expect it to be cold. You can tell I've had no coffee. All right, so let's get this egg peeled. I've got a post with a video about how to cook the perfect hard-boiled egg, and I will link that up to, in the comments when we're done here in a few minutes. Do you see how easy that peels? Beautiful. Yeah, you gotta watch my video. Okay, so peeled hard-boiled egg. I'm gonna slap it right here in my little egg slicer.
I love these things.
Love it. Okay, ready? Put it down. Whoop. Bring the wires back up. Right, so now you've got perfectly sliced little egg circles. Right, how pretty is that? Right, so, okay, so if you just want egg slices and circles, you're good, you're done. Watch this. This one twists. Cut it again, and now you've got like perfect for egg salad, little chunky egg pieces. How awesome is that? You mix this up in a bowl with a fork and your mayo or whatever you want in your egg salad, and it'll break up just a little bit more. So it's just perfect. I love this one. The bad news I have is that I went looking on Amazon for one of these 2 nights ago, and I could not find this model anymore. And I'm really really bummed about that because I wanted to share this one with you guys. Let me get another bowl and we'll dump this out and I'll show you how the other kind works. The ones that you can find easily.
I've never seen the kind that turns.
I love this. I've had it for years. Now watch this. It has this little guard on it right here. And you just pop up the guard. And the egg pops out. And you get, it scrapes all the stuff out of those little grooves, right? Because that's the big thing, is these things are a pain in the neck to clean.
What will they think of next?
What will they think of next? Well, unfortunately, they took this bottle off the market and I'm so mad. Okay, but what they do have is one very similar to this, except it doesn't spin, which is too bad. But here's what we can do. Oh, this one's not peeling as nice. I picked the right one the first time, I guess. There we go. I just didn't get it broken well enough to begin with. That's the problem. Okay, so I put the egg in this way before, right? And we got those nice, beautiful round slices. I'm gonna put it in this way this time. So now we have these really pretty oval slices, okay? So if you don't have one that spins, do your slices, pick the whole egg up so you can see, right? Try to keep it all together and just turn the egg and then whoop, do it again. And now you've got your sliced egg bits. So even if yours doesn't turn, you can still make it work. This is not Pampered Chef. This one is OXO, another kitchen gadget brand that I love, love, love. Again, I wish that they still had this model for you because it's amazing. The one that they do have now, like I said, it does not turn like that, but the bottom part here is shaped so that it can hold an egg easily in either direction, whether you want to lay it this way so you get your circle cuts, or lay it that way to get your oval cuts, or if you want to do like what I just did and pick it up and turn it in the middle to get it diced.
Would a knife fit in there?
Would a knife fit in there?
In between those grooves?
I don't know. Let's try it out. This is my raw meat knife, so all this is going to go right in the dishwasher. Yes, a knife does fit in those grooves. So I use this sometimes to clean out this part because this is kind of a pain. Can you see there's egg? Yeah. Like the wires you can just get with a sponge, but there's egg like stuck way back up in here. So you need to kind of get your knife up in there to get the little bits out. This is another one of those that if you rinse it off right away, it's a whole lot easier than if you let it sit in your sink for, oh, I don't know, 12 hours or 4 days or whatever happens in your kitchen. The other nice thing about this model, I need to stop bragging on this model, is that when you close it, it's got this little latch so it stays closed in your drawer. So it fits in whatever drawer you want. You don't like have an accidental surprise when you open the door and like the Joker jumps out and bites your fingers off.
Like a safety measure.
Yeah, exactly. Like a little safety thing. So those are my top 5 kitchen gadgets. I use them, this I use seasonally. Everything else I use almost every day. Definitely every week. So we've got the mix and chop. We've got the garlic press. We've got the serrated peeler, the egg chopper, and the Measure All measuring cup. I have got a post on my Fearless Kitchen that talks about all of these. Danielle, can you paste the link in the comments for us, please? So you guys can visit that link and see them all. There are links to comparable products on Amazon. Hard to find the Pampered Chef stuff. Again, it's supposed to be sold through your local dealer, not really sold on Amazon. So I think there's one, the Mix and Chop, I do link to a Pampered Chef product, but also to another company. When I could, I found the OXO stuff, because again, that's the other kitchen gadget stuff that I really, really enjoy using. They do a very nice job in their design and in their user friendliness. So that's what I got. Any questions? Any kitchen gadgets that you have that I haven't talked about that you love?
No, but I was going to ask you if your big mixer, if it was worth it. Like,
Oh, okay.
like for somebody who doesn't bake or doesn't.
Yeah. So I have a big KitchenAid mixer, and they are pricey. Is it worth it? When I first got it, I didn't use it all that much. It was like one of those wedding things that like everybody's just supposed to register for a mixer, right? Like we have this whole cabinet of china. Anyway, so when I first got it, I didn't use it as much, but I use it a lot more now. So I use it for holiday cookies for sure. I use it anytime I'm doing cakes or cupcakes, even the box mixes I'll do in the mixer.
Okay.
It's a little bit easier. You can beat all your stuff together faster, which gets a little more air in the batter, which makes a lighter cake or cupcake. Okay. So I use it for all my box mix stuff now too. I use it to make bread. It came with a dough hook attachment, and I use that anytime I'm making a yeast bread at home. My favorite hack with that is I use it to shred meat. If I'm cooking up a whole bunch of chicken or a pork shoulder and I want shredded meat, when it's still hot, cut it into roughly equal sized pieces, or just throw a couple of chicken breasts in there or chicken thighs and turn it on, and it'll shred your meat like that. It's fast and it's easy. I gotta post about that on my Fearless Kitchen too, so I will link that in the comments when we're done. So is it worth it? I say yes. Okay. And again, because I use it for baking, I use it for cookies, I use it all the time in the holiday season. I do my mashed potatoes with it. I'll boil the mashed potatoes and throw them in the mixer and mash away. Joseph likes to actually use the mashy thing, so I'll let him do some and I'll do some in the mixer.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I used it for mashed sweet potatoes. It comes with a whisk attachment. You guys, if you have never made your own homemade whipped cream, it is worth a KitchenAid mixer just to make your own homemade whipped cream. Holy smokes, it is so easy and it is so good. Literally, heavy cream, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of vanilla in there if you want. Turn on the electric mixer with the whisk attachment, walk away. Walk away for 10 minutes and come back, and you have the best whipped cream you will ever taste. I will never do store-bought again, ever, ever, ever. Have a recipe for homemade whipped cream on my Fearless Kitchen too. And one of my all-time favorite recipes in the world is homemade pumpkin pie. And when I made the whip, we used to use Cool Whip on that all the time until I discovered the magic of homemade whipped cream and how stupid easy it is. Right? When we went out to restaurants and they said, fresh homemade whipped cream, I used to think that we were so fancy. Guys, you can do it. But when I made my pumpkin pie, I put a little bit of pumpkin spice in the whipped cream when I whipped it. So good. So good. In fact, we have a whole mess of pie pumpkins out on the porch. And this weekend I'm making pie. Can't wait.
Yay!
So yeah, it's worth it.
Okay.
The KitchenAid mixer, you can also get a bunch of different attachments for it. I have one that spiralizes veggies that I thought I would use all the time, and I just don't use it as much as I'd hoped. So that one I'm kind of bummed about, but I do know a friend of mine has, and I need to get one, an attachment that does like blizzard type ice cream things.
Stop it.
Right? How yummy. For those times when you just can't drive the 10 minutes to Dairy Queen because it's too far away.
Angela Clark is looking forward to your whipped cream recipe.
So good, Angela. I will post it when we're done here. It's so delicious.
I'm sure I've seen multiple things in your kitchen. I just can't think now.
I have all kinds of stuff. I'm a gadget junkie.
Like that hold this.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Danielle is combing through my drawers to see what I have.
I don't have. Like, I'm a normal.
Yeah.
A normal cooker.
A normal cooker? What? Okay. So she found these.
Like, what is this?
Joseph likes to play with them. He thinks they're pitchforks, so he plays with them until one day that he stabbed me with them, and these son of a things are pointy and they hurt, so he doesn't get to play with them anymore. These are meat lifters. They came with a big roasting pan that I got, and I use them almost never. But they are meant, like, if you do a ham or a roast or a turkey or something in a big roasting pan, you can use these to scoop under the meat, or these super crazy sharp pointy tines can like stab into the meat, and then you can lift it up out of the roasting pan and put it on a carving board to carve it. Most of the time when I'm doing stuff like that, it kind of falls apart on me. So I almost never use these.
Yeah.
But Joseph likes to play with them.
That's just one thing in your drawer of
My
things
drawer of
that
goodies.
I've never even seen before.
This is one of those. It came with a thing, so I feel like I should keep it, but I almost never use it, so I had to get rid of it. But Joseph likes to play with it. Damn, it hurts when he stabs me with it.
Angela said she's been looking at the spiral veggie attachment.
Yeah.
Do you not like it, or you just don't use it as much?
I just don't use it as much. It's pretty cool. Well, here, let me get it out and we can take a look at it.
I'm gonna go back to your drawer.
Okay.
We're gonna find.
dig in the drawer.
We're gonna find some more things that
Okay.
I've never even seen before.
Anybody love any of these? Right?
What's over here?
Oh, this is good. This one's a good one. This
yes.
is a burger press, right? So all that beautiful ground beef
like it
that we
makes
just
your own.
chopped up. Yeah. So so I just use plain old ground beef from the grocery store. I will mix and mash whatever flavors I want in there. There's a garlic parm cheeseburger recipe on my Fearless Kitchen that's to die for. So you mix it all up in a bowl, separate it out into as many burger patties as you want, put the burger mixture right in here, take this jobby and just smash it down flat. It makes a beautifully pressed, perfect round patty. Nothing wrong with making your patties by hand. But if you've ever done that, you know, they come out kind of uneven, kind of thick on one side and thinner on the other. The edges kind of look funny. This just makes a perfectly pressed, beautiful burger patty. This particular one will also do a stuffed burger. That's just how you do it. So if you want to do a stuffed burger, then you put like half of the amount of meat down here. You use this part, right? See, it's got that kind of plungy looking thing on there. So you push that down, flatten out the bottom of your patty and makes a hole in there. You take whatever fillings you want, like, I don't know, a whole bunch of melty cheese and bacon. So you put your shredded cheese and bacon in the center, put some more meat on top of it, put this guy back on, and then press like that.
What brand is that?
This is Cuisinart.
Okay.
It also will do sliders. I've not done them, but I think that's what this part is for. I bet it goes in there like that. Right? And you just fill that.
Yeah.
And then use this part to smash your slider.
Yep.
Is my best guess. But I haven't used that feature before. I did keep the instruction book for this one. Because it seemed just a hair complicated. But if you're just using it for plain old regular burger patties, it's fantastic. And after you press your patty in there, it's all stuck to the bottom, but the bottom part lifts out. So you just take this whole thing, flip it upside down on a plate or a cutting board, and then peel this off your beautiful burger patty.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's that. Okay, what else have you pulled out here?
You can get back to Angela's question.
Oh, let's get back to Angela's question. Let's go over to the nicer, cleaner part of the kitchen. Well, it's not cleaner anymore, is it? We made a big mess.
Smells like garlic.
Smells like garlic. I'm making tacos tonight with garlic. There's a fruit fly eating the apple. Okay. This is the KitchenAid spiralizer with peel core and slice attachment. I think you can get one that's just a spiralizer and doesn't have all these extra doodahs. I think I need to just get out the mixer and show you how this all goes together. And that will be less confusing.
That is a lot of stuff.
You don't use it all the time.
Okay.
But it even comes with a pocket to keep your instruction book.
Nice.
Because they're not dumb.
Man, we're going to town today.
I love it.
We didn't expect all this.
Thank you for joining us, Angela. I'm having a lot of fun.
We've had 3 viewers the whole time.
Okay. Cool. Thanks,
Yeah.
guys, for coming. Leave us a comment. Let me know who you are and where you're from and what's been your favorite thing so far. Okay, so this is the big mamma jamma part of the spiralizer attachment. So it goes on here, and then you screw this little guy in to make sure that it's good and tight. I haven't used this in a while, so pardon me.
We might need to get the book out.
Some trouble. Hang on. Okay. All right, I got it. I remember now. Okay, so this goes here, and this is like where you would stab. Oh, here, we'll just do it with the apple. Ta-da! Okay, so this is the peeler attachment, and all this one does is peel. So this goes in somehow. Maybe I do need the book.
This thing is like super high tech.
This is crazy. Have I turned anybody off from this?
No.
No, not yet. Okay. All right. Here we go. This one has,
But you're turning Angela on.
I'm turning Angela on. Awesome. Way to go. All right. Can you see the little drawing on the top of this? Can you see?
Yeah, if it'll focus, there we go.
Okay. So this one will core and do like ribbon fry kind of cuts on it.
Angela said looks so confusing.
It is really confusing, and I wish that's one of the reasons that I don't use it that often is because it is confusing. If I used it more, it wouldn't be as difficult. I would have it figured out.
So Mary Beth is super high tech, and that's why I love her. But Angela, if you live near an Aldi grocery store, I found a spiralizer for $12.
There you go.
And that's what I use. So
there you go.
Word to the wise that they don't want to do all this.
Yeah, if you don't want to mess with all of this stuff. Yes, they do make things that are just purely spiralizers where you don't have to get out all the
I mean, I get it.
bits.
This is nice.
It's cool,
to
right?
have one thing.
But holy moly. Okay,
Yeah.
so here, I'm going to turn, I got plugged in. I've got this coring thing kind of pushed down into the apple.
Should we have a bowl under it? Or where does it go?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, bowl. That's a good idea. Okay, so I'm going to start kind of slow, and it's not, there we go. This apple wasn't on here very straight, so the core is not going to be cut out very well. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Check this out, right? So if this was a potato, how awesome are these ribbon fries? Okay, they're a little thicker than what you might normally expect from ribbon fries. But did you see how fast that was? Although I guess if you were just
That was cool.
cutting it up by the time you get it out and put it together, then maybe it's about the same. But if you're doing a whole bunch, then this is great, right? So it just made these really cool spiral slices. Okay, so that's kind of how that is how it works. That's not kind of how it works.
Does Joseph like fruit?
He does, yeah. And he asks me to get this thing out all the time. He loves using just the big mixer in general. But we did this one time last fall with something, and that, like, he wants to do that all the time. It's such a pain in the neck.
My kids eat them better if they're like that.
Do they?
Yeah.
So there you go. Tip from Danielle. If your kids don't like fruits and vegetables, cut them in different and interesting shapes.
Yeah. See? Tastes better.
Yeah, it does taste better. Okay, so it does have just a peeler attachment. I don't remember how this one goes on. What I do remember from using this peeler attachment before is it can take more of the fruit off than what you want. So just be careful. There was a way to adjust how hard it's pressing into whatever you're peeling, so just pay attention to that. And I haven't played with it enough to be comfortable with this as a peeler because I love my serrated peelers so much. So there's 4 other things here. This is another one like this that looks like this one actually does thicker slices.
So for amateurs.
For amateurs.
This whole box.
This is too much.
Comes with, like,
No.
you purchase
You
this.
purchase the mixer and you purchase the box separately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What the mixers typically come with is your regular attachment, like this is what you use almost every day, anytime you're cookies or cakes or whatever. And then I think that they still come with these two. This is a dough hook, so this is primarily for breads. And then this is your whisk. So Angela, this is what you need for whipped cream. This is the one. If you just need to like cream together eggs and sugar, you could use this. But so anything you would use a whisk for, that's this jobby. But the nice thing about this is that you just turn on and walk away and it's done. So yeah, so for an amateur, I don't know that I recommend this. The cool thing is, again, that it comes with all the different bits and bobs, so you can just peel. You can make thinner spiral slices like this. You can make thicker spiral slices like this. And then it also has two attachments that do like really what you think of when you think of spiralized veggies. Can you get a focus in on this little graphic there? Maybe. Should we do another apple with that?
Yeah.
We'll make apple noodles.
Missy Williams would like for you to demonstrate sometime how to flute a pie crust.
Oh, Missy.
Pressure's on.
Never fluted a pie crust in my life. I'll do some research. It's that time of year though, right? It's pie time. How to flute a pie crust. Do you mean like make the edges look all pretty? Is that, I think that's what I think of when I think flute.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Okay, so if that's what you mean, I can show you, but I've never done one very prettily.
Which I would think just like a
usually like a fork.
Yeah,
will make really pretty designs in it. What happens to me is I buy pie crusts from the grocery store because pie crusts are hard to make. They are hard to get right. So I just buy them from the grocery store. And then I end up using like the regular red box Pillsbury refrigerated pie crusts in a deep dish pie pan. So they don't come up and over the sides. Like it's all I can do to get them up to the top, let alone up and over. So I have edges to make pretty.
Yes, that's what Missy's
that's what she's
referring to. Yeah.
Okay.
So it could be like this. Like
Daniel's Googling. Oh, that is pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty, but whew.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can do about it. I'll add it to my list of things to research. How's that? That's what I'm here for. I love the questions. Thanks, guys. All right, let's see if I can get this out. There's a trick to it. I'm sure of it. There's not a trick. Screw that in.
I'm interested. The ladies who are on here and whoever else, do you like the morning videos? Are you able to sit down and focus on these videos in the morning, or do you like the more noonish time for the videos?
Yeah, tell me. Yeah, because we had been doing them at 11 Central, 12 Eastern. I live in Central Time, if nobody had figured that out yet.
We're the only two.
So we've been doing them at 11 Central Time, noon Eastern. I thought that would like kind of help catch the lunch crowd, that maybe you would have some time to sit over your lunch break. But I've done a couple earlier in the day, and it seems like more people come and play. So I'm open for it.
Angela really wants you to do a video making your homemade pumpkin pies because she would love to tackle that as well.
Oh, yes. We'll do it. We'll do it. Yeah, I usually use actually like real pumpkin that I get a pumpkin and cut it and cook it and do all that, so we can go through all of that. Okay. You can use the canned stuff too. And I'll tell you a secret. If I'm doing it for like us or our immediate family, I use the good stuff. But if it's going anywhere, like out to a party, I use the canned stuff.
You're a rebel.
So I am a rebel. Okay, let's get another apple. We'll spiralize an apple because I know that I have those here.
So should I free my weekend for apple pie? I mean for pumpkin pie.
Yeah, pumpkin pie. Should we tell Danielle if she's getting the good stuff or the canned stuff?
I probably won't be able to tell. I'm too stupid.
Not too stupid. That's not right. You just haven't had it before. you don't know that there's a difference. Okay, so I've got two different spiralizer jobbies, right? Can you see this one on top has got more of those little blades and the one on bottom has fewer. So I think that this one on top is going to give you more skinnier noodles.
Okay.
And this one on the bottom is going to give you fewer, fatter noodles. So we'll try this one and see how it goes. Let's look at this too. So this was the one that we did the ribbon slices, and see how big that core part is. And then on the noodly one, that core part is a lot smaller. Typically, you're going to be doing noodles, not with an apple, but with something like a zucchini or a butternut squash or maybe a sweet potato or a regular potato, where you don't need to cut out a whole lot of seeds and stuff out of the middle. So that's why your core part on this is a lot smaller versus doing an apple. Obviously, you've got the big fat core and the seeds and everything in the middle. So, okay, snap that in, slide this down, and shove that in there, get it good and ready to go, and then off we go. Okay, here we go. All right, see the difference? Right before we had ribbony slices, and now we've got,
Nice.
yeah, spirally noodles. So I've done this with zucchini. I wanted to do it, I was really excited last fall to try it with butternut squash, but I waited, I don't know if I waited too long before I cut into my butternut squash or if they weren't quite ripe enough. But the center, here's butternut squash. So if you're doing butternut squash this way, remember we talked, was it last week that we did butternut or 2 weeks ago? So this part here is all solid squash. So this is the part that you would cut into your noodles. When I tried it, the one or two that I tried it on, the center was, it's not really hollow, but it was a lot softer, like it was starting to go bad. So I don't know if they had been left out in the field too long or if they had been left in my basement too long, and either one is a possibility. But this year I will be doing some butternut squash spiralizing. So
I like this. This is fun.
That's how the spiralizing thing works. Danielle, have you used your spiralizer much?
Yeah.
Does it work about is it about that fast?
Yeah,
Is it about
it
the
looks
same?
like it just wears you out, wears your arms out.
Yeah.
But the pieces are about the same. Yeah.
Okay.
I noticed with mine, I get a whole lot of flakes. Like it's just really messy. Yours looks a lot more clean and well kept together.
Okay. And these they broke into like half circles. Part of that is because the apple wasn't centered on there very, very well, but also because apples break easy. So if you're doing this with a zucchini or a butternut squash, or something else that will hold together a little bit better, you can end up with some really nice, beautiful, long noodles. So, like here, it came off the skin, right?
Yeah.
So that's not going to break apart as easy.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, so that's my spiralizing. If it was easier to use, I think I would use it more. I don't think about it because it's away in a cabinet where the mixer lives, because that made sense to keep it with the thing that it goes with. But then I don't think about it unless I'm getting ready to bust out the big mixer for something else. So I need to put this away before I bring Joseph home, or this is all he's going to want to do all weekend long. Which, hey, if that's a way to get him to play in the kitchen and to get him to eat some more veggies, I guess I really shouldn't complain about it. So, okay, what else? Danielle got a couple other fun things out. Let's see what she found in my drawers.
Angela said it's harvest time, so you're keeping her entertained in the tractor. So do your videos whenever you want.
Perfect. Thank you for watching me in the tractor. I hope you've got a GPS steering that's keeping you on track. Don't watch and drive. Okay, so Danielle picked out this little jobby. This is another serrated vegetable peeler. Just has a different orientation. So this is the one we looked at before, right? It's got its blade on the top. So you would this way. This one has its blade sideways, so you would go like this. This is an OXO brand. What I like about this one is that the head swivels a little bit, so you can do like those rounded corners a little bit better. I think this one does a little better on soft stuff than this one does. I think now you can get them in this orientation that have a little swivel. So this comes down to your preference.
Okay.
If you prefer to peel this way, or if you prefer to peel this way. So that's your call as to how it's easier for you to hold. But it's the same concept. What else did you get out?
This thing.
Oh, that thing. This is a pastry blender. This is used to cut butter in. So if you've ever heard that instruction in a recipe, cut butter in, this is it. I do have a post on my Fearless Kitchen about how to cut in butter. But basically you take butter straight out of the refrigerator, cut it into pats with a knife, like teaspoon or smaller than a tablespoon chunk, because that's just too much to do. Get your big bowl of flour. Use a way bigger bowl than what you think you need. Get your flour, put in your cold butter. It does need to be like right out of the refrigerator cold. And then you just like work this through, cutting in the butter into the flour. If you don't have one of these, you can use 2 butter knives and just like slice across like this. It takes forever. I prefer this over the knives any day, but I have had some wrist problems in the past and it hurts my wrists if I have to do it too much. Let me tell you a hack that I just learned from somebody else, and I wish I could tell you who it was so that I could give her credit. Get your cold butter, cold, grate it on a cheese grater, and then freeze it. Or maybe you might need to freeze it and then grate it, but freeze it. And that grated butter, it's already the perfect size and you don't need to do this anymore. So
Nice.
I have not tried that yet, but I have seen that as a hack. And I've got a biscuit recipe and I think a shortcake recipe that both call for cut in butter. And I'm going to try them both with the frozen butter technique and see how it goes. Because that sounds a whole lot easier than this.
Yeah.
Yep, so that's what this is. And then I think you also got this out.
Yes.
This is just a little whisk. If you're a smoothie person, this goes down in your glass and you just whiskety whisk.
Huh.
That's what I don't know where this came from. I don't know what it's doing in my kitchen. I'm going to be totally honest. I have never used it ever in my life. But it's cute. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've never used it.
Huh.
But that's what it is. And that's what it's for.
We'll have to make smoothies.
Somewhere, I have a battery operated one, but my kid steals it. He's pretty sure it's his. And usually it ends up in his kitchen set. But yeah, it looks just like this, but it's got batteries. And so you put it down in and you flip it on and it goes, and it smoothies and whisks for you. So you don't have to whiskety whisk.
Wow.
Yeah. I got that free. And the most use it's got has been when Joseph steals it and plays with it. So, but it's cute.
So I don't need to run out and get one.
You don't need to run out and get one.
Okay.
Although you like your smoothies,
Yeah.
so.
I like my blender too, though.
Yes.
So.
Right. And a blender is one of those multi-use things where you can use it for everything.
Yes.
Where there's not a whole lot else you're going to use this
Right.
for.
Right.
I love multi-use gadgets.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything that its sole purpose is this one thing, I try to not have. But I showed you the garlic press. But all that does is press garlic. But I use it so much that I don't care.
Yeah.
And that egg slicer, which its only use is slicing eggs. Some people have tried to do like strawberries or mushrooms in these, but the wires are not quite strong enough to do that. Like you can do it once and then they'll break and then you'll be sad and need a new one. So yeah, this is just an egg slicer. And again, it gets used seasonally, but seasonally it gets used a lot.
Right.
So I'm okay with having this around. All right. Any other questions?
Nope.
Any other fun stuff you've found in my kitchen?
Maybe that'll be.
Maybe we'll do take 2.
Yeah.
5 more must-have kitchen gadgets.
And make another mess.
Yeah.
This
AKA,
was clean.
what the hell is this in your kitchen?
I know, you have a lot of stuff that like mediocre cookers don't use every day. So I'm like, what's this? What's this
Yeah,
for?
absolutely. If you have the question, somebody else has a question too. So don't ever be afraid to ask. All right, guys, we're going to clean up. Thanks for joining us. It's been a whole lot of fun today. And we will see you next Friday, 9 Central, 10 Eastern. We'll be looking, is it pie time? Should we do pie stuff next week? Pie crusts and how to cook a pumpkin. And I'll walk you through my super favorite county famous pumpkin pie recipe. All right, pumpkin pie next
Sounds
week.
good.
See you guys then.